Well, with Wrath of the Lich King, more than anything else, our goals are to kind of outdo ourselves in every respect. What we're looking to do is deliver an expansion that has even more content than before, and higher quality level content than ever before. We want to make sure our quests are cooler than they ever were. We want to make sure the outdoor world zones are better looking than any of the ones we ever created before. We want to add some new gameplay features like the vehicles and destructible buildings, and for the first time we're adding a new character class. So really we're just trying to kick it up a notch. It's definitely more oriented toward the higher end player, but there are some key features that are kind of for everybody. Not only did we recently launch our Refer a Friend program, which was actually kind of conceived as part of our Wrath of the Lich King feature set, but made sense to launch earlier than that. So we launched it actually just a couple weeks ago, where players can get their friends into the game, and when they play along with their friends, you level up much more quickly than normal. So it kind of helps players get leveled up for Wrath of the Lich King. But in addition to that, some of the Wrath of the Lich King features that apply to everybody are the new inscription trade skill. Everybody, even at level 1, you can pick up your first trade skill. It could be inscription. Another one would be the achievement system, which kind of keeps a measure of all your accomplishments. And that's very cool for anybody that's starting the game as a new character, because it's coming in right fresh with them. So every accomplishment they've ever done in the game would be recorded by the achievement system, and it gives them another measurement of progress all along the way. The amount of combat that we did before was very limited. For example, the bombing runs that we did before, the player had no control over the movement of the bird that they were flying on. So what the vehicle system does, it really gives players a lot more control. So now they're able to not only drive their own vehicle, there's even the possibility of adding passengers and having them participate in it. So there's a lot more tools to do different kinds of gameplay than we had in the past. What's been really cool to see so far is that we can really use the vehicles in all different aspects of the game. We're able to do new kinds of quests. Some examples would be, you could get a demolisher and drive it around and kill 100 different scourge really quickly as part of one quest. At the same time, we can use the vehicle system to do interesting new encounters, like the Oculus and the Nexus that's coming out. You're going to be able to fly dragons around, and all the different dragons have different abilities. And so no matter what class you're playing, you kind of get a different experience when you do that encounter. I definitely think we do try to strike that balance between the casual and hardcore, and I think we are getting closer and closer toward that balance. We do integrate things into the UI, like the threat levels that you talked about, kind of the threat meter functionality, although at the same time the version that we have in our UI isn't quite as hardcore as the version a lot of players use. So I think on one hand it would be unfair to say that it dumbs down the game, because generally it's the most hardcore players right now that use a feature like that. So I think that introducing that kind of feature to everybody as a whole certainly doesn't kind of drag down the expectations for how interesting the different encounters will be and all that kind of thing. So far the beta is going very well. We've had a chance recently to increase the level cap in our beta to level 80. So players are exposed to the vast majority of the content at this point. There are probably a couple more things that are going to be coming very soon. We still are looking forward to launching our new battleground in the beta. A couple of our endgame instances, raid like Naxxramas, also the Wintergrass PvP zone should be available pretty soon. I think it'll be really interesting to see Wintergrass play out. That's something that players really haven't gotten a chance to touch yet, and there's definitely a lot of expectation. It's certainly a significant design challenge. Always very hard for us to predict how it's going to play out when who knows how many people show up. But I think it's going to be really exciting. It's definitely got a higher level of depth, gameplay depth, than most Battlegrounds do. So I think that'll be pretty fun to play.